young people that are just devastated. They were rejected for a job, and it's like their entire sense of self-worth is collapsed, and their self-esteem is really, really low because they're interpreting it as something it's not. They're interpreting it as you are no good. You don't have what it takes, right? Which is not what it is at all. It's that people are looking for very specific things. And this is also complicated by the fact that if you're responding to jobs, there's a lot of fake jobs. So, they may respond to you, they might even give you an interview and then reject you because there is no job in some cases. But, and you see these people that are just absolutely devastated by this. And it's triggering people to give up on looking for a job. I don't know what, depending on your situation in life, but, that's just not right. And I think the problem is that people haven't been educated on what's actually going on. How does this stuff actually work? Other people are under the false impression that, if I'm qualified, they should hire me. I am qualified for the job. Why did I get rejected? And to see how wrong that is, you consider look, they can only hire one person. If they had 10 people that were qualified, and I'm being generous here, for a lot of jobs you get 100 people could technically do it, right? But they can only hire one, right? So the other 99 were perfectly qualified. It's not like they weren't qualified and they couldn't do it. It's just that they had to only pick one. They would have loved, sometimes in some cases, the recruiters or the hiring manager would love to hire all 100, but they just couldn't, right? There was absolutely nothing wrong with the other 99. It was just almost an eeny, meeny, miny, mo type situation, But yet, people that have been rejected, for reasons like that, they're just absolutely devastated, and they start believing, oh, I'm actually not that qualified and I'm not that valuable. And it's wrong. You're highly employable. There's a lot of things you can do. It's just that nobody bothered to explain what's going on the other side of this process that you don't see. If you actually saw that, you actually understood what was happening, you would change your tune. You would totally reappraise what just happened, And then other times you see how bad these companies actually are in some cases, and you would be thankful you got rejected. That was a lucky escape, So yeah, it's true. It's really a shame that people, have been so ill prepared for this process. They might have spent years in school, they've gone all through high school, right? Certainly, vast majority of cases, and then, or a lot of cases, and then they've gone, a lot of people have gone through college or university or trade school or community, some form of post-secondary education. And they've never been informed as to how this stuff works, And it's a real tragedy because, there's a lot of people that the biggest crime I think of all is that people seem to think that the only way to get a job is to look at internet job postings and apply for them. Couldn't be further from the truth. It's something like 80% of all candidates are competing for the internet jobs. And the internet jobs, all of them, all those jobs you see, they're only 20% of the jobs that are actually out there. The other ones aren't advertised because they don't need to be advertised, because the moment the hiring manager mentions it to people, you instantly get a bunch of recommendations for people that want the job. If you're a boss of a department and you supervise 10 people and you have 10 workers and you're the boss, and you say, I think we're going to hire an 11th person, right, to do the same jobs that you guys do, right, that reports to me, you immediately get 8 of the 10 employees you do have come to you in private and say, I have a cousin, I have a friend, I have, a previous coworker that would be awesome for this, here's their resume, or I'll tell them to call you, like this. So why would you then feel the need to go post that job, spend money, hire a recruiter, or use your in-house recruiters if your company is over a certain size, and, sit in rounds and rounds of job interviews, pay people to do background checks, because these candidates are, after all, strangers. They are not being recommended by someone you already know and trust and have worked with for years. These are strangers. You don't want to just check out the people that have had a personal recommendation by somebody that you trust. You're instead going to go to the public and canvass people you don't know, who could be brilliant, or they could be axe murderers. You don't know, right? Why would you post the job to get that? Like, will that give you any real advantage? All you'll have is like 800 resumes you've got to sort through. So you got to use ATS and, things like this to filter it. And at the end of the day, are those candidates going to be better? How do you know they're going to be better? They are strangers, assuming everything on their resume is accurate, which you can't verify usually. You certainly can't verify most of it. Like what's the incentive for going through all that work, right? If you work in the government, there might be rules that say you have to post it publicly and consider everyone equally. But like if you're just, Joe Schmo, you have a small business, why do you have to look at 700 people you don't know when you've got 8 recommendations from people you know and trust to fill one position, right? What you would normally do is you check out those 8 recommendations first. Now, if they don't work out, great. But you know what I'm saying? Then you would maybe look further afield. But assuming that one of them does, and the odds are that one of them does, especially if one of your trusted employees is staking their reputation with you on recommending this person, right? Why would you post it publicly? Right? Now, if this is surprising to you and you've never heard of this and you doubt what you're hearing, as I always say, don't take my word for this. Go and do your own research on it. Go look into this. Okay? Learn it's what's sometimes known as the hidden job market. The jobs are hidden simply because they're not posted publicly. Now, if you ask the hiring manager, or if you showed up and said like, hey, are you, if ever you're looking for someone that's great at this, give me a call because I'd love to work for you. You can surface those jobs. They'll consider you, right? And there's other ways too. But the biggest crime, I think, is that people haven't been educated. They have no awareness of this kind of thing. And that's how a lot of people are hired. That's how the majority of people are hired, right? So as I say, if this is all new to you or you're hearing this for the first time, go and you got some research to do because this is a tremendous opportunity for you. This can right a lot of the wrongs that are inherent in the standard method of internet jobs, of like seeing a job posting and then applying for it and then going through a recruiter and these terribly formal interviews where you don't know anyone, right? Okay, so that's what I'd have to say. It's a terrible tragedy, and I wish those people the best of luck, and I'm here to try and help and try to turn people on to this stuff because there's a lot of people struggling with this stuff right now. If that's you, best of luck. But the more you know, the further you'll go. It's not just a stupid cliche. It's actually true.